Alright, it's been a bit since I uploaded anything, and once again I contribute that to the fact that I figured more Tenpai deck profiles would be kind of boring, as they tend to get very similar to one another. But my locals set up a kind of late night locals, and I think usually on Fridays, and I get to, or I went and was able to play, and I ended up taking first place. It was 4 rounds. I went 3 wins, 0 losses, and 1 tie. And I think that tie just contributed, or it was caused by me not realizing the situation I was in and realizing that I had the upper hand. But my matchups were, round 1 was against Memento Fiendsmith, one of the friends of the guy who kind of set up this locals with the store owner. Really cool guy. That was a 2-1 match. I messed up game 1 and could have played around a Desiree negate, but I didn't, so that pretty much cost me the game. And then games 2 and 3 kind of were just, normal games, nothing really exciting. Round 2 was against White Forest Runic, and that's the game that I tied. We were, I think, in game 2, and I just didn't realize that we were coming up on time, and I had a higher life point total, and my brain kind of just, went, we've only got like a certain amount of time, let's just go to game 3 and just I'll try and damage him before he can really do anything. And I just forgot, like, I have a higher life point total than he has game 2, and I'm up a game, so I kind of messed up there. Round 3 was against Snake Eye Fiendsmith. I don't know if he was on the Azamina package, because I don't really think I saw the Azamina stuff. But that was a 2-0. We kind of just kept drolling each other. And then round 4 was against Snake Eye Fiendsmith Azamina. And I kind of just opened a lot of hand traps against him, and decent enough engine to play through what little interaction that he had in hand, like a hand trap. And I was able to take that 2-0. Yeah, the deck is 45 cards. I think it's actually a pretty good total for like the ratios and stuff. The side deck is a bit like last minute put together, so there's really not much thought process into it besides like only a few cards. So I guess I will just go ahead and get into the profile. So, started off the Voiceless package. I played 3 low and 3 diviner. These are basically your kind of main combo starters. They're both 1-card starters, pretty much. Normal, you normal low, place the barrier, search Saphira to get the ritual summon, and kind of go off from there. Diviner is basically the exact same thing, except you normal her, send the Trias tribute with Trias to summon Trias, and then summon low, place barriers for Saphira, yada yada. 2 Saphira. I think with this build, 2 is fine, because you really just don't want to open more than 1. You would rather just search her rather than open her, but opening her and low is also really good. 1 Trias and 1 Old Man. I think there are some builds that are cutting Old Man, but I think that, he's kind of just worth the brick. he just sets up a summon negate or an omni negate on the opponent's turn if they activate anything. It's just it's too good to cut, I think. And he puts back your spell cards and stuff. For the rituals, 2 Skull Guardian and 2 Seravis. I think these are just the good, perfect ratio for this build. Skull Guardian is your Searcher and an Omni Negate, and then Seravis is targeting protection, which came up quite a bit. And when he's on the field, he's a summon negate. So if your opponent summons Diabellstar, or they Synchro, Xyz, Link summon, you can put him back into your hand as cost to negate and banish the monster. He's just pretty good. For the spells of the Voiceless engine, triple barrier, it's your Rhoda, and if you have low and a light ritual on field, it also makes it so that your opponent can't target your light monsters. Not just your like voiceless stuff, just any light monster you have. If you have those 2 on the field, your opponent can't target your lights, which is really good and came up against my round 4 opponent. Blessings of the Voiceless, it's card recursion. You can add back cards or voiceless cards from your grave or your banishment back to your hand. And then if a non-ritual monster is summoned, you can use the effect to ritual summon, and that monster can't be destroyed by battle. So it's pretty good. And then 1 Radiance of the Voiceless Voice. This is good if you set it up turn 1, because it can get you like a lot. Your end board, I think, usually ends on like IP Seravis that's summoned off of Radiance. And it's just a really good end board. More engine, 2 pre-prep. This card is just good. It's a +1. Adds your ritual monsters and ritual spells to hand. It's ash bait as well, so if you have like Diviner in hand and pre-prep, you basically do this to bait out any ash they may have, and then if you normal summon Diviner, they have to have like Imperm or something. So yeah, this card is just really good. 1 Pot of Prosperity, just extra consistency. And then 2 ritual spell. For the Nadir package, I played 1 Maximus and then triple Nadir Servant. This engine, it was really good when it came up, just because it gives you so much advantage. Like, you send a Garura off of Nadir's, you get to draw a card after searching for your Maximus. Maximus can banish the Garura to summon it, and then Maximus will make both players send 2 extra deck monsters from the extra deck to the graveyard. And then you've got stuff like Ferrijit, Herald of the Arclight, Elder Entity Entis. It gives you a lot, and just for the like low cost of not being able to extra deck summon for the turn. So when this package came up, it was really good. And for hand traps, I played 3 Ash and 3 Veiler. Veiler, I think, was actually just really good. Really good last night. It just hit so much when I opened it, and it's a spellcaster, so you use this on your opponent's turn to negate something, and then on your turn, if you make Selene, you can use Selene to bring back the Veiler and then go into something like Access Code. So that's a plus. It's also a light, so you can use it to make Lina, but it's also a level 1, so if you normal it, you can link it off for Anima, and then that gets you a dark. So if you need the Dark Charmer, you can do that. I'm kind of just now realizing after saying all that Veiler is kind of versatile in this deck. It's just pretty good. Yeah, that's it for the 3 of monsters. I played 2 Nibiru, the Primal Being, and 2 Drolin Lockbird, and then 1 Bestial Magnamut. Nibiru came in clutch a lot, it being a light monster with 3k attack, and it's a high level. Also makes it versatile in this deck because if your opponent summons more than 5 times, you nib them, and you get a big body on the board. It's a light, so if you have a light ritual and low and barrier face up, it can't be targeted, so it's a non-targetable 3k beat stick. But also if you didn't really get to use it or didn't need to, it's high level enough to you can use it for ritual summons. But it being light also means that you can use the ritual spell to ritual summon because it only uses light monsters. So Nibiru was really good. Droll was also really good against basically, I think I opened it every match except against the Runic White Force deck. So Memento and Snake Eyes, and it's just really good. It's essentially a turn skip, I think. And then Bestial Magnamut was kind of just the outlier for the tournament. It didn't really come up. I didn't really see it, and I didn't really play against a whole lot of decks that that would be useful against. Like Memento only has like 1 target to hit with Magnamut. Runic White Force is different, but I didn't see it. And then I just played against Snake Eyes the last 2 rounds, so it doesn't really have much to hit with that. I'm kind of bouncing between playing Magnamut or Called by the Grave, but I kind of just wanted like interactive stuff on my opponent's turn to help me be able to play on my turn. So yeah, that's the non-engine monsters. For the trap cards, I played 3 Impulse and 3 Imperm. Or sorry, not Impulse, Purge. It's Dominus Purge. You can't really you can't use Impulse in this deck. So Impulse basically acts as Ash Blossom. If your opponent activates a card or effect that would add a card from deck to hand, you can Purge to negate it. But if you use it from the hand, you are locked out of, what is it, Fire, Dark, and Water? Yeah, Dark, Water, Fire. So the problem with that is if you use Purge first and you have an Ash Blossom in hand, you can't use Ash Blossom. So there was a moment against my round 4 opponent where I was debating whether or not I should Ash a Bonfire or Impulse it, and then I realized, oh wait, Purge says if I use it from the hand, I can't use fire monster effects for the rest of the duel. So you really have to keep an eye on that. And then Imperm was Imperm. It's just a really good card. Having a lot of trap cards that you can use from the hand is just really good. Yeah, that's the main deck. 45 cards. Just everything worked well. So for the extra deck, I played 1 Access Code, 1 Selene, and Anima. Anima was the only one that really came up. I kind of kept locking myself out of the extra deck, so I couldn't really make Selene Access Code, but it doesn't really matter because the Skull Guardian you make is ginormous. It's an Omni Negate and it can't be targeted, so that's just better than going into Selene Access Code. 1 SP, 1 IP. If you don't open the Nadir package, you usually end on a end board of one of these 2. SP helps play around Nib. I think this end board does play into Nib. but having the SP makes it so that you can play around it. One Dynamondo just to make your board better on your opponent's turn. One Dark and one Lina to just help you make most of these. Yeah, just Link Climb. That's it for the links. For synchros, played one Chaos Angel and one Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. These didn't really come up. I didn't play against any of the Tenpai players there, but had I played against them, this probably would have come up once or twice. But Chaos Angel, it's kind of difficult to make, but kind of also easy. There was just not a point in time where it was either I couldn't make it or I just didn't really need to, but it's just there in case I need to. And then for the cards I send off of the Nadir package, 2 Entis, because Maximus being able to send 2 Entis at the same time is pretty good. 1 Garura, because you send it off of Nadir's, you can draw a card, and that's basically a +1, I think. Because you send Nadir's, send Garura, search Maximus, so that's 5 cards. Yeah, and then Garura to draw a card. Yeah, it's a +1 basically. And then 1 Herald of the Arclight, because you send this off of Maximus, you get to search for a ritual monster or spell. And then 1 Ferrijit, because you get to draw a card, and then if you open any bricks, you get to put the bricks back on the bottom of the deck. So this is really good. I don't know what else for the Nadir package I would play. Besides maybe the Aggregator Xyz monster. Just like Raziel are doing when they come out. Just if it's sent to the graveyard, you can negate a card on the field. It's pretty good. But yeah, for now I think this is just good enough. And then for the side deck was kind of just thrown together last minute. Not too much thought was put into it, but I don't really think there was much need for it, really. So just the only monster was the Pendulum Graph. I'll side it in against Tenpai, negate their Kaimin, and then I negate it, put it in the Pendulum Zone, and then I get to summon Meteor Burst from the extra deck, which makes it so that my opponent can't activate card or monster effects in the battle phase. So they're down a Kaimin, and then if they can't activate any of their effects in the battle phase. I played 3 Ultimate Slayer. This card was cracked. I could search it off of the Triple Tactics Thrust, which was really good. And I don't think I searched Ultimate Slayer off of Thrust, but you know, the option's there. It's a normal spell card. You basically, if you're going second, if your opponent ends on one of these extra deck types, you get to send one of these, send the monster with the same type from your opponent's field back into the extra deck, and then you get an effect basically depending on what you send. So it's also it's kind of like a Nadir package, but also not. It's just really good. So yeah, so 3 Ultimate Slayer, 2 Triple Tactics Thrust, which was really good. It came up quite a bit, and I'm happy to actually be able to have thrusts to play. Double Cosmic for going second if my opponent sides in like Floodgate cards, like Anti-Spell or something. Yeah. For going first, Triple Judgment, just because the deck kind of dies to Dark Ruler or Forbidden Droplet. I just wanted to basically play as many cards that would play as many cards to counter the cards that would just destroy me, basically. Yeah, there's really not much to say about Judgment's anti-spell. I played one Tikaboo, but I don't really think I need Tikaboo. I mean, the only deck it really hits is Yubel. Well, I guess Yubel and Tenpai. So maybe it's good enough, but we'll see. Let's see about playing more and actually trying to test with it. And then more thrust sets, one D-Barrier and one Different Dimension Grounds. They didn't really come up, but they're just useful things to set. So yeah, that is basically my Voiceless deck. It was really fun to play it again. It just made me think how to play differently than, you know, with Tenpai. But yeah, not really much else to say. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later.